So they'll be calling you a radical. This is a real important historic video. So the fallacy that the Great Salt Lake's been going for many decades is just that. It's a lie. It's total bullshit. I grew up on the lake. I live on the edge of the lake my whole life. My Spiral Jetty video in 2012, remember right here, northern Utah, we had historic record runoff in 2010, 2011. Right there is the Olympic downhill snow basin. I skied there that year on the 4th of July. I remember coming out of the bone marrow transplants for just a little bit. Remember what I had no hair. And I came out in early summer of 2012. And I'm like, if I ever get out of this place, because I was dying in there. I was given 2 months to live. I says, I'm gonna die if my hair ever grows back. I mean, I still have no hair. I have scarring up and down my legs and in different places in my body where the chemo burned through my body. On the top of my head. That's why, remember I used to wear the blue hat? That's how I started. The chemo burned through the top of I got shot up in the stomach with Neupogen, which is a hardcore steroid, every day in my stomach. To where my hat size grew freaking 3 sizes. I mean, that's how intense and radical that treatment was. I come out, and remember, I says if I survive, if my hair grows back at all, I'm gonna dye it blue. And remember, I did. I mean, I had the nurses in the hospital. It was only about that long. I'm like, they had some organic stuff. They said, we'll do it. I mean, so I go out to Antelope Island there in those great videos. Fuck, the lake is just, I mean, it's flooding the visitor center. So I'm like, got to get to the jetty, back into the bone marrow transplant unit, more treatment. In the fall, I mean, I weighed 120 something pounds. I got out to the jetty. That has got to be the most historic, could be the most historic video I've ever done besides the March 12th, 2011, warning you about these. And then those early March right here, standing there, videos are so historic. So I got out there and, you know, I know Bob Phillips, personally. I know Grant Barsenbark personally. I know Mr. Whitaker personally. You know, those are the people that build it. I got to meet Robert Smithson out there. Robert Smith, when he flew into Brigham City, Utah, stayed right there above my grandfather's house. My grandfather, Abraham Hutsaker IV, who owned all the pits of the big contract. I was out there when they built it. That video is so historic. The only video at the perfect level is Smithson flying over it. And he was turned on by how red the lake goes because of the causeway cutting through. My video. The only video it probably will ever be in history of the Spiral Jetty at perfect levels, which I heavily documented the collapse of the lake. I was predicting the collapse of the lake before it happened. I says, look, it's going to cause a heat dome. Son of Cassandra. Now you think about what I've been able to predict. Now, when I was a kid at West Weaver Elementary in 5th grade, oh, look at this. In 5th grade, we started studying Greek mythology. I was so fascinated. And the thing that fascinated me so much about Greek mythology is how much of it is based on truth, how much is just total fantasy. You know, I mean, the crossover. So, I mean, I was just absolutely fascinated with it. I'm like, whoa, whoa. Story's so incredible, so exciting, so passionate. Son of Cassandra. Now, who's Cassandra in Greek mythology? Cassandra is the second most beautiful, right? According to who? Zeus, Atlas, all of them. Come on, you're going to come sleep with me, be with me. the goddess of integrity. No, I'm not. Why? Because you're all powerful? Nah. No. Well, if you don't, I will curse you. Curse you with what? Being able to see the future. What kind of curse is that? That's a gift. No, it's not. No one will believe me. And your offsprings, 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 offsprings. I hear the voices of my great-great-great-great-great-grandson. Oh boy, son of Cassandra. Did I name that right? The Great Salt Lake has not been going fucking dry for decades. It lives and breathes in this ecology. I mean, it flooded right up behind my fucking house in 83, 84. Then it got a super low in the early 60s. But I predicted this because I says Fukushima is going to cause a heat dome. Now let's get to the salmon numbers. This is a sport. It's unarguable. Now, who could predict this? Who could predict this? You got to realize that all the said rivers from the Kenai to the Jedediah Smith, the mighty beast Columbia, record salmon returns. Record. I mean, it was going crazy, 2010, 2011. And I says, listen, we're out on the ocean, Blanche, you're full of shit. I says, no, I'm doing video after video. You're going to see a salmon collapse unforeseen in the history of mankind. But the Chinook, what is the most hallowed beast of the entire planet? First came the god of salmon, right? That's native freaking Northwestern belief systems. Well, how will I live? I will give you the god of water. What is more hallowed and sacred than a Chinook salmon? Maybe a gray whale. The gray whale and the Chinook salmon will tell you everything. Hello. I knew that. I said it. Day one, standing right here. We will understand what's going on with this ecology, number one, by the gray whale, the Chinook salmon, the tide pools, and the level of the Great Salt Lake. People don't even realize the Great Basin, this high desert, how much water from this giant western desert ends up in the Great Salt Lake. I mean, the Bear River, if you straighten it out, talk about the Big Bend, is so long and massive. Going to cause a heat dome. And we've had, this is important, the last 4 years in Utah, we've had north of average annual precipitation. Way north. I mean, 3 years ago, we had 280%. But the problem is it's coming in the form of rain for the most part because it's hot. Kevin Lynch, the heat dome. Fukushima, listen, this gas has never happened in the history of mankind. See the salmon numbers. I said the Chinook salmon will collapse in 2016. Will you believe me then? Record returns in 2015, 14. Yeah, but that ain't gonna happen. I mean, who can do that? Oh, it happened. Off a cliff. The Columbia River right now has less than 80,000 on the spring run. I mean, that's such a... You can go, I mean, the Kenai, the Fraser in British Columbia, all of it. I mean, this is just by number of fish. This isn't by volume. This isn't by weight. And the fact that the criminal enterprise called the Ormoc Engineers takes the live cam off the... Remember they were fighting with me? Grandstand, look at the numbers, Blanche, you're full of shit, 2015. Look at the live cam, big, hallowed be. I said, they're not going to collapse in 20... Why? Because they go to sea for 5 years. It's a smoking gun. We don't get dead humans in bone marrow transplant units. Oh, Kevin Blanche does. I was almost one of them. The fact that I go in on 11/11/11, my place in time. Talk about mythology. No, that's reality. We don't count dead starfish in tide pools. Oh, Kevin Blanche does. We don't count dead sea anemones. We don't count dead whales. Oh, Kevin Blanche does. Oh, we count every fucking salmon. Because it's a commodity from the Kenai all the way to the Jedediah. Dams or not dams, they're an absolute symphony with each other. Yes, steelhead salmon are salmon. They're not trout. And they don't live in a river in Idaho. I grew up steelhead fishing. When Redfish Lake still had redfish, my grandparents are from Ketchum. Something. All made up bullshit. Oh, can they fly? Oh, can they fly? Steelhead salmon go to sea 1 year. When they come back, they're called a half pounder. They return, go back a second year. The new one's coming to visit. Then their life cycle's over. I said, you'll start to see a collapse in the steelhead salmon quickly. That you'll start to see it immediately, 2012. Because they go to sea 1 to 2 years. Well, 2 years. Happened. But you will not see a collapse in the Chinook salmon. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. They grow fast. Life goes on. We're talking one of the most acute radical outliers statistically in history, the salmon off the cliff in 2016. I had fishermen calling me. I mean, I remember being in a Starbucks using some Wi-Fi here in Utah, and a guy coming, oh, it's fucking Kevin Lance, you're ruining my fishing business. What, you're a fishing guide in where? Oregon? Yeah. Well, how in the fuck am I ruining your fishing business? I had multiple calls like that. Oh, you're fucking talking about Fuku. Dude, you shouldn't be mad at me. You should be fighting the nuclear industry. How are you gonna fish when there's no fucking fish, you stupid fucker? People call me all that, Blanche, you're full of shit, I'm on the boats, I'm out there. I'm like, will you believe me when it crashes in 2016? Because I go to sea for fucking 5 years. Yeah, but that ain't gonna happen. Oh, did it happen? Remember the Jedediah Smith, well, Tim Martin went and talked to the native elder there, right there at the mouth. There's no dams on Jedediah Smith, you know? And he talked to the native elder. Remember, he's sitting in his recliner, he says they got white spots in them, they're sucked up. And the native elder said, what do you think that's caused by? Tim Martin asked him, interviewed him. I put it online. What did he say? Fukushima. This is important. When Fukushima happened in 2011, one of the native elders in Alaska, daughter called me. And she says, Kevin, my dad was the native elder. He would paint his dreams. In 2010, he painted a dream at Bristol Bay. And the dream was all black. Everything washed up dead black. The ocean, the bay was black. This is in 2011, she called me. The wells were black, the sills were black, and he was asked. This is in 2010 he painted this dream. Oh, another Exxon Valdez and oil it. He said no, nuclear. Now we know he was right. The black water keep on rolling. The acidification of the ocean. I'm the guy that named it the blob. I'm the first guy that started identifying you can physically say, and I don't like the term the blob. It's the acidification of the ocean. It's black mold. What happened? The healthy species, the 4 sons from Fukushima bored into the Pacific Ocean. Every single word son of Cassandra said came true. I stood right here. It says this is going to cause a heat dome. Look, the Pacific Ocean is not a bathtub. It is not a bathtub. The Pacific Ocean has the swiftest rivers on the planet in it, including the Japanese current and the California current. The Japanese current is right next to Fukushima, Japan. Ken Buesler's study in 2011, I'm the guy that leaked out on the KOA boat study. They tried to hide in the Hawaiian boat. Multiple things. Went over there in June of 2011. It was testing. First sample says cesium-137 only comes from a nuclear meltdown, exchange. First sample set, 40 kilometers off the coast, 25 meters down. First sample set 25 times the background level. Do I understand background level? Bikini Atolls. We know what they are, NOAA, EPA. But they just lie. Well, they don't say anything. Whoa. Second level 50 times. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Third sample set 1,000 times the background. In conclusion, I'm the guy that leaked it out. You wouldn't even know this. It got sent to me and I put it into the internet. In conclusion, they wrote the conclusion many years later. In conclusion, the radioisotopes from the nuclear meltdowns, not accident, meltdowns of Fukushima are already into the ocean current. Into the biosphere, there's no stopping. Season 137 in the rockfish, 280 times the safe legal limit after they raised the legal limits multiple times. Season 137 in your sneakers, in your shrimp. Where do you think it comes from, season 137? Hello, hello. Every word I said standing right here. These four suns has never happened in the history of mankind. This is gonna cause the greatest ecological catastrophe in human history. Now we have a photograph. TEPCO has come out and said we finally got a picture of one of the cores and a giant, quote, giant gaping hole in the containment vessel. You know how big those containment vessels are? How thick, how hardy, how stout, how sturdy. For these cores, this did not happen at Chernobyl. Chernobyl was a graphite reactor that blew up the 780,000 men entombed, including mining underneath it. Including people sacrificing their lives, going in, conscripted. Giving their lives. Grabbing the cores in 8-second intervals, physically picking them up. It did not melt down, it blew up. Fukushima, they melted down. Not to mention 880,000 tons of spent fuel. One of the biggest loads on the planet. Chernobyl had no spent fuel. It was a brand new reactor. I mean, the epic denial. So I stood right here. I said, is there a fulcrum that's going to burn the Pacific Ocean? It's going to boil the Pacific Ocean hot water gate immediately. It's going to cook the plankton. You're going to see a starvation event. You're going to see a chain reaction, the greatest ecological catastrophe in human history. Oh, it doesn't affect you. It's going to cause leukemia. I predicted my own leukemia. I was given 2 months to live with AML de novo. I paid a price. I had $1 million worth of Tesla and Apple stock. I bought Tesla at the IPO. Play back your tape. I made a lot of multimillionaires. None of them ever supported me and helped me. I was uninsured. The University of Weber State, who blackballed me, who made deals with me to save their school business, straight up, we'll give you insurance for life, we'll give you the first MBA, we'll do this, when Clyde Cooley dropped dead. Now they're under investigation for selling state secrets to China from #1 school business in the country. I'm running the show. They should have covered my insurance. They didn't. My uncle's like, I was headed to the Mayo Clinic, misdiagnosed. Vincent Hansen saved my life. Kevin, I've known you since you were a child. Let me bone marrow biopsy. After they wanted to gut me, and I told them no. You're right, Kevin. I think that's what it is. I mean, I had worked on it and worked on it. I went from 170 pounds to 119 pounds so fast make your head spin off. Celeste at East 8 Bone Marrow Transplant at LDS Hospital. Kevin, I've been here for 26 years. I prepared your paperwork when you came in. The doctors ranked you as a red 10. I've been here for 26. I've never seen a red 10 walk out of here. Ever. I fully expected you to go out of here in a body bag that week. What a miracle. Too sick for a transplant. Told the doctors I'm going to go walk the coast of California to document the dead tide pools. You'll die out there. Many doctors told me. What a place to die, Robin Jeffers. I'll drip into the sea. What's that smell? It's a dead whale in Carmel. I predicted every fucking bit of this. Stood right here. I says, these 4 cores are going to melt down. It took me a year and a half to convince anybody it was even one meltdown. The fucking cover up. 4 full core meltdowns. How hot? Bring you star powder. How hot is that sun? What is that sun? It's a plasma. It's a gas. Which I named what this is coming off here is plutonium. Which is no joke. That's exactly what it is. These 4 freaking cores burrowed into the Pacific Ocean and immediately burned right through. How hot are they? Well, that thing could give you cancer from 93 million miles away. It's a plasma, it's a gas. How hot are, my estimate, many, 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 many millions of degrees. For them to burrow right through and burn right through that containment, you know what kind of heat that takes? They're in the Pacific Ocean. The jet stream, you throw your rubber ducky in at Fukushima, Japan, it will be a Gold Beach, Oregon on day 6, just like the overpass was in March of 2011. The one you drive on. I remember walking the coast of California, talking to a fish cop out at Big Sur. Where's your mate, bro? Sitting on a nest somewhere, huh? $20.15. I'm like, dude, I spilled my water and I couldn't get anybody to give me a ride. I was walking the coast. I says, he says, I got some water, man. Good guy. We talked. He says, I've never seen the Pacific Ocean so healthy. I said, dude, you need to get the fuck out of your truck. He says, I do. I pick up fucking Fukushima debris every morning for it. I says, yeah, the Black Ops operation's in here. I've watched it. They're picking up debris early in the morning so the tourists don't fucking see it. Yeah, for sure. I'm one of them. By the time he left, he had the Great Pacific Genocide bumper sticker. I had a few left. He put on his State of California Fish and Game truck. I predicted every bit of this. The smoking gun will be the Chinook Salmon. They won't collapse till 2016. Will you believe me then? Yes. The Grays and Humpback, well, Noah. I talked to Noah freaking many times when I'm walking out there. They're putting up detectors under overpasses. They got big trucks out there. They're picking up debris in hazmat suits. I'm like, dude, what's the readings in the ocean? Not our job. What do you mean not your job? The national ocean? Ocean? Oh my God. They just covered it up. They classified the Army Corps engineers. I got insiders said it to me. I posted it on YouTube. The Army Corps engineers classified me. How is that possible? You know, took videos down, struck me out, tried to take my site down, attacked me, hired teams of trolls to viciously attack me. YouTube sites, Facebook pages, Reddit feeds by the many dozens with my name on it. Kevin E. Blank, 100% committed to freaking slandering me, attacking me while I'm in critical condition, fighting for my life, full of leukemia. Oh my God. They honeypotted me? That chick showed up from the Sendai lab. I'm like, she says, you'd rather sleep on the beach than sleep with me I'm afraid of you. Sent freaking so-called artists from Edelman, Canadian artists, American. We found out the free radical guy, his freaking lawyer sponsors him at Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Palco on Balco worked for Energy Solutions. They teed me up, they lied to me, they slandered me, they did everything to me. Wild and crazy. Those are felonies in all 50 states, but never free, never me. The Great Salt Lake has not been going dry for decades. It lives and breathes. In my lifetime, the all-time low was in the early 60s when I was a little boy. I grew up on it. We've passed that low now. But in 2011, 2010, I skied on the 4th of July at Snow Basin. In 100, visual proof means nothing to you? Video killed the media star. We can't rewind, we came too far. Pictures come and broke your heart. Denial. These salmon numbers are off a cliff. That's called an outlier in science. Everything I predicted. It's going to cause a heat dome. The Japanese current runs into the California current. The California current, you throw your rubber ducky, the cesium-137, well, rubber duck will be in San Diego, California 10 days. We were picking up cesium-137 in the tuna the summer of 2011. Remember all my work there, and then boom, I get slammed with cancer. I mean, my historic work on the salmon, my historic work on the tide pools, my historic well on the dead well. Noah comes out finally in 2015 and says, yeah, it is a starvation event, unusual mortality. Don't you love their language? Crippled, accident. Yeah, crippled like the towers on 9/11. And it started in 2015, and 2019 they declared it over. I said, you're liars. I never started. I mean, record now they're reporting in the state of Washington. Remember the state of Washington, their fish and game was having orgies in 2015. Look it up. The head of the fish and game, who's in charge of all this, is in prison for raping a coworker. Look it up. Now they're saying, no. 21 whales wash up dead in Washington this year in 2020. Record. No, it's not a record. Now even the 75 biologists that got together went out and says, yes, this starvation event, it's all starvation on the well, started in 2012. And the citizen scientists proved that. Well, who organized the citizen scientists? Kevin Blanch, the Post-Ignorance Project. Now, my website, of course, is down, the Post-Ignorance. Why? Because Eric Jordan, the famous graphic designer, him and his beautiful wife, who moved to New Zealand, she was tragically in a horrible, she's a photographer, a horrible freaking crash in that helicopter. And it severed her spine. She's paralyzed. I mean, this has been a hard road to hoe. Remember that chick in Oregon who came to me? Remember UCY TV took it all down? Stole my... You don't think they were paid to do that? Of course they were. We tracked it down. When my own government, the NEI, the nuclear energy, who drafted and nuked my father to death in Nevada, the same government, hires teams of trolls who slander everyone, and to the point it almost got me killed. Mike Lee kicks me off Medicaid after I fork over $1 million when I'm in a bone marrow transplant unit fighting for my life. You don't think that's attempted murder? I mean, you know what? I had $1 million of Tesla and Apple stock. Play back the tape, Your Honor, son of Cassandra. I had to fork it over because Weaver State wouldn't cover. I forked it all over to get into the unit. I was in the unit in 2015 when Mike Lee kicked me off Medicaid. Who the fuck does that? Why I'm under my doctor fucking flipped. To the point they wouldn't treat my heart valves failing from the chemo. Go see your, Michael Hawkins, go see your dentist. I collapsed on it. I don't know how I didn't die. When they did the surgery on it, Collado and Connors, I says, it's not working. I could feel it shooting down my arms. It's clogged. My valve's clogged. This went on for 5 years. I'm walking the coast of California. I remember being in Monterey, walking up in the middle of the night from Lover's Point, clear up onto the top, trying to get some medicine because I'm in so much pain. Shoot through my shoulders, and a big buck walked right up to me and touched me right on the arm. And I looked up at the Pacific Grove market, and the clock was right at 12:12. What a number, 12. Oh, Greek mythology, East 8 on its side. Now we know the survivors, the 1% survivors, because I'm in that study group. What is the number one component of these 1%? So I'm a 1%er. That means surviving a cancer, less than 1% survive. Now the survival rate's way up since I've had it. ML de Nouveau. Risk takers. You don't think I took risk walking that coast? I mean, whoa. Good with numbers. The Great Salt Lake has not been going dry for decades. I live on it. I live and breathe it just like it does my whole life. Spent my whole life on that delta, on that marsh. I still live there. These salmon numbers collapse. Every word I said. These nuclear meltdown is going to push into the Pacific Ocean. It's going to boil the Pacific Ocean. Hawaii is going to cause a heat dome over the North America. It's going to cause the Great Salt Lake to go dry. It's going to cause the tide pools. It's going to cause acidification of the ocean. Every word I said. The salmon will collapse in 2016, the Chinook. Oh, we have record chum numbers. Those salmon that are record numbers are algae feeders. What happens when the healthier species takes over, the lesser species takes over? Black mold, old black water. So the Great Salt Lake has not been going dry. It's a lie. My spiral jetty video is so historic. I remember being in the boat market. Got to get out to the jetty. My intuitive mind. The intuitive mind. Albert, I'm a big fan of Einstein when I was a kid, when I was young. I read a lot about Einstein. Michelangelo. It was Michelangelo that turned me into the plaster when I was young. I read a book in the West Weber Elementary Library about, he said the hawk and trowel was the great art, not the violin. He's the one that motivated me to be the artist, the plaster. Which, you ever see me go with the hawk and trowel? Whoa. Albert Einstein's the one that turned me on to. You know, as a kid, some of his, Albert Einstein, we have it backwards. The rational mind, the intuitive mind's not there to serve the rational mind. It should be the opposite. The rational mind should serve the intuitive mind. You know how he came up with the theory of relativity? You know how he came up with that? He had a dream when he was an 11-year-old boy that light bent. And he hung on it. And remember, Campbell's observational tower got seized in where? Crimea, Russia, when the outbreak of World War I. Him and Dorothy Day both got thrown in the gulag. It was Eddington who's Johnny on the spot. He says, no, right. He went and did it. Suggests it does, Ben. Because Campbell said it didn't. Who's the fiercest anti-nuclear energy activist who ever lived? Albert Einstein. Hell of a way to boil water. Kevin Lynch, hell of a way to boil a planet. Then Frieda Eisenblau. I was at Frieda Eisenblau's house on the 200th anniversary of Waterloo. Think about that. In Vienna, Austria. She was full of cancer, didn't tell me, but that's why she requested the meeting. Kevin, I know your path. Don't you drop. You're the tip of the spear. She was the greatest anti-nuclear energy activist since Einstein.
That's okay.
You're it, dude. You're it. I never picked this journey, neither did you.
Either way, what do you pick?
It picked us. You can deny my work all you want. This is the most historic PhD in human history. Just all luck that I predicted this? Just all luck? I don't think so. I've been on this nuclear dynamic from birth. Important historic video. Science is a fraud. The Einstein cult, the Epstein cult, the Middle East vegan cult, and by the way, all elections are rigged in this country. All of them. All of them. In the DNC and the RC, they're all rigged. They rigged it in 2000, that's inarguable. Bush did not win. They rigged it in 2004 at the presidential level. Y'all talking 2020? Nah. 2000, that's the one. They rig them in the DNC. Ask Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Bernie would have been president twice. They're all rigged. All of them. The Great Salt Lake has not been going dry for it. And we're going to save it with money and politicians? No, I don't think so. Black water, keep on rolling. Huh. Didn't Frank Zappa write Blackwater Under the Crystal Pier? Whew. My place. These salmon numbers, the smoking gun, the greatest freaking PhD, the greatest outlier. Huh. Northern Lights. What do you think that's all about? It's a gas. Bringing star power to Earth, Livermore. Remember all the protests out there? Oh. Okay. Bringing star power to Earth. Mission accomplished. See no nuclear energy evil. Hear no nuclear energy. Speak no nuclear energy evil. The nuclear energy emperors. Oh, they have no fucking clothes. Stay in tune.